Sharing a stage comes naturally to these Cuban and U.S. musicians. Cuba's best-known pianist, Chucho Valdés, playing alongside American jazz legend Joe Lavone. The saxophone player is among the U.S. artists who headline this year's Havana Jazz Festival. Musicians turned cultural ambassadors at a time of renewed hostilities between their governments.
It's now more important than ever that music as a common language connects these two countries. Again, the politics are the politics, but the art form is a common language, and that will help strengthen perhaps some of the other areas of the broader international relationship.
And that relationship has deteriorated significantly since its high point 2 years ago. Today, the State Department is actively advising Americans to stay away from Cuba. But not all of them are listening. Even under tighter travel restrictions reimposed by the Trump administration, an unprecedented number of Americans visited and performed at this year's jazz festival here in Havana. And when asked why they're here, they generally gave the same basic answer.
Music trumps Trump as far as I'm concerned.
This Cuban pianist couldn't agree more. Playing for a tour of American jazz lovers, Jorge Luis Pacheco thinks musical overtures can have just as much power as diplomatic ones.
La cultura cubana y la música cubana, eso es fuego, ¿no?
Cuban music and culture is an explosion. It's fire. And that is what we transmit to the audiences. Beyond all the problems that exist, I try to express what I am, not as a musician, but as a culture.
And the cultural efforts extend beyond music. This statue of Cuban independence hero Jose Marti was a gift from New York's Bronx Museum of the Arts to the people of Cuba. The unveiling, attended by architects and other artists from both countries, hopes to mark the start of other joint projects.
It's always been the artists and the cultural organizations that have really kept the conversation going. They were responsible for initiating the conversation and opened the doors for relationship building and greater connections between Cuba and the United States.
Raul Castro attended the inaugural ceremony in what is expected to be one of his last public events as Cuban president. Perhaps a nod of support to those trying to get the relationship with the U.S. back on track. Galiano, Jazeera, Havana.